James gripped the steering wheel tightly as the traffic light stayed red. It was 3 a.m. in Los Angeles, and he'd been driving for 14 hours straight. His back was screaming for rest, but his bank account needed more shifts. He just turned down a long airport run because it would cost him the sleep he needed to drive the next day safely. This can't keep going, he thought, watching the minutes crawl on the dashboard clock. What James didn't know was that in 6 months, he wouldn't depend on every single ride to pay his bills. His life was about to change. But first, he had to hit rock bottom. James was 32 and had been driving for Uber and Lyft in LA for 8 years. He made between $3,000 and $4,000 a month after platform fees, but every dollar depended on hours on the road. If he got sick, no pay. If the car broke down, he lost whole weeks of income. His wife, Laura, worked part-time at a local stationery store, and together they barely covered rent, groceries, and tuition for their 2 kids at public school. James dreamed of rest. But rest meant no money. It felt like a trap with no way out. Every morning he was up at 5, dropped the kids at school, and started his shift. He got home after 9 p.m., exhausted, barely enough energy left for dinner. Weekends meant double shifts to cover surprises like car repairs or medical bills. Life had become an endless loop. One night in July, after dropping a passenger in West Hollywood, James picked up a man in his 40s with a briefcase. The guy was calmly reading something on his tablet and looked completely relaxed, like money worries didn't exist for him. James felt a sharp pang of envy. "You drive nights a lot?" the passenger asked, closing his tablet. James nodded tiredly. "Every day, sometimes double shifts. No choice." The man looked genuinely interested. "I used to do the same. Construction, 12-hour days. Now I work about 6 hours and make more than before." James raised an eyebrow, skeptical. "How? Big promotion?" The man smiled. "I stopped selling my time and started selling assets." He got out at his stop without another word. James didn't fully get it, but the phrase stuck with him. That night, before collapsing into bed, he searched on his phone. What is an asset? He scrolled past complicated finance definitions until he found a simple one. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket even when you're not working. Examples: rental income, automated online businesses, digital products, dividend stocks. It sounded like something for rich people, not him. Still, a small spark of hope mixed with doubt. What if there's another way? Over the next few weeks, James started noticing things he'd never really seen before. While he drove 14 hours to make $150 after gas and wear and tear, other people made the same or more from home. A neighbor rented out 2 spare rooms on Airbnb for $1,500 each. A fellow driver sold phone mounts and dash cams on Amazon and cleared $2,000 a month with almost no inventory. Even Laura mentioned a coworker who made $500 a month selling Notion templates. They all had one thing in common. They built something that earned money without constant hands-on work. Work once, get paid many times. James ran a quick experiment. He tracked his real hourly earnings after gas, maintenance, and car depreciation, about $15 to $20 per hour. He worked nearly 300 hours a month. The math hit hard. More hours just meant more exhaustion, not more freedom. To change things, he needed something that made money while he slept or played with his kids. Biggest problem? No savings to invest and 0 free time. But he remembered one line from his late-night reading. Assets don't always need money up front. Sometimes they just need focused effort and scalability. James had one skill most people would pay for. He knew Los Angeles traffic like no one else. Secret shortcuts, exact surge times, safest routes, best spots for airport runs, UNs, and event pickups. He'd always thought every rideshare driver knew the same stuff. Wrong. One slow afternoon waiting at LAX, he posted in a couple of private Facebook and Discord groups for Uber and Lyft drivers. Would anyone pay for a detailed guide with the best routes, surge hotspots, and times to avoid traffic in LA? Responses came fast. "I'd pay $10 easy if it's solid, $20 if it includes airport strategies and event days. Drop a link and I'll buy." His heart raced, excitement and fear at the same time. He knew this stuff cold, but he'd never sold anything digital. That night, they researched free ways to sell PDFs online. He found platforms like Gumroad and Payhip that took no upfront money and handled payments automatically. For 2 weeks after his long shifts, James poured late-night hours into a 35-page guide. Maps, optimized routes, peak surge zones by day and event, tricks to avoid gridlock, best waiting spots, and common mistakes that kill earnings. He called it the Smart Rideshare Driver's Guide to LA and made a clean cover in free Canva. He launched it in early September at $15 per download, shared screenshots and a short description in driver groups. Then he waited, checking his phone constantly. In the first 2 days, he sold 85 copies, almost $1,200 after small platform fees, money that came in while he was driving or sleeping. He showed Laura the dashboard, both of them staring in disbelief. "People paid for stuff you already know?" she asked. He grinned, something he hadn't done in months. "And I can sell it 1,000 more times. The work's already done. Almost every sale is pure profit." It was his first real asset. But soon, buyers asked for updates. New construction zones, changed traffic patterns, fresh surge data. He realized assets need occasional care to stay valuable. He spent a weekend updating everything, released version 2 for $20, and gave free updates to past buyers. Word spread, and sales kept coming. Within a full month, the guide brought in an extra $2,500 without a single additional driving hour. The mindset shift was huge. This wasn't completely passive, but it didn't trade minutes for dollars. While stuck in traffic on the 405, sales notifications pinged. While asleep, someone in another state bought it. While coaching his kids' soccer team on Saturday, money arrived. For the first time in 8 years, James earned while not actively working. That feeling was addictive. He applied the same idea to his deeper experience and created a bigger product: how to become a successful rideshare driver in LA. Permits, real costs, best strategies. It covered licensing, vehicle requirements, insurance tricks, monthly expense averages, top earning zones, and expensive rookie mistakes. Priced at $30. New drivers wanting to start bought it fast. By October, he'd sold hundreds of copies across both products, adding $4,000 to $5,000 monthly. Laura got inspired too. With 5 years of managing inventory at the stationery store, she built and sold a simple Google Sheets inventory template for small retail businesses. In a few weeks, she made $1,000 sharing it in small business Facebook groups. Together, they realized assets aren't just real estate or stocks. They can be packaged knowledge, anything that solves a real problem and can be sold repeatedly. By November, James cut his driving to 8 hours a day. He lost some direct income, but gained time to create more guides, one on vehicle maintenance schedules for rideshare cars, another on tax deductions and expense tracking for gig drivers. Digital income climbed to $6,000 to $7,000 monthly. Combined with reduced driving, he was making close to $9,000 total, more money in less time. Most importantly, he got his life back. Breakfast with the kids, full nights of sleep, energy to play on weekends, less back pain, less stress with Laura. By December, exactly 1 year after that passenger's comment, James reviewed his numbers. 5 digital products generated $6,000 to $8,000 monthly on autopilot. He now drove only 5 to 6 hours a day for another $3,000 to $3,500. Total, around $10,000 per month, working half the hours he used to. If he got sick or the car needed repairs, the digital sales kept coming. He could take a full day off with the family without panic. He never quit driving completely. He actually enjoyed the flexibility and people, but now he drove because he wanted to, not because he had to. It all started with one question: what do I already know that others would pay for, delivered without me being there every time? Today, James still sells his guides every week. Income fluctuates a bit with seasons and algorithm changes, but it's steady and growing. Not millionaire money yet, but enough to breathe, to live, to build. He turned knowledge he already had into real assets, and those assets gave him the one thing money alone can't buy: time to actually live his life. What would your first asset be? Something you already know better than most people?